Hi everyone. Good evening. My name is Stacey Wakelin and I am speaking today on behalf of hundreds of parents in Langley who have come forward to express support for you in implementing initiatives that celebrate diversity and promote inclusivity. We all came together just over a week ago in response to some very negative, hurtful things that we were seeing. I knew when I started Parents for Inclusivity that the majority of people in our district did not ascribe to hate and exclusion. And I was right. The positive response has been overwhelming. Over the past week and a half, I have received many messages from parents, students, and community members. I have heard countless personal stories of students, former students, and parents, many of which brought me to tears. I have learned that 1 to 2 people in 100 people in our community are transgender, that only 70% of transgender people live to adulthood, 30% commit suicide. And I'm here on behalf of hundreds of parents in our district to express our support for SOGI 123, for fostering acceptance and inclusion in our schools and saving young people's lives. We support the curriculum because all children need to see themselves and their family unit reflected in public education, and to know they are free to be who they are. Here are some of the words I've been asked to share with you tonight. First of all, as a Langley parent, when I first read the Langley Celebrates Diversity letter regarding SOGI 123, I honestly didn't think much of it, beyond a reassurance that I was raising my 2 sons in a community that valued inclusivity as much as my husband and I do. I have young people in my family that experience bigotry and exclusion daily for being different, including LGBTQ+ youth and children on the autism spectrum. People that I love dearly feel pain, incited by someone else's random notion that they are somehow less than. A second statement. As a parent, as a school district, as teachers, as educators, as resource professionals, as an authority for our children, as learned individuals, you stood up in support of every student, even perhaps for those who identified as something you first had to Google. You did this because you believed in inclusion over discrimination without question. You believed that people are who they are without question. You knew from a place of education, facts, and information that a change needed to be made to the curriculum so that all students felt safe enough to come to school, a place they are mandated to be. Another statement. We are not here to debate the other side. We are here to support you. Support SOGI 123 and continue to support the new curriculum. We are here to remind you that moving forward is the only direction there is. We are here to reinforce the message of inclusion and to let you know that as loud as opposing voices may be, there are far greater number of voices who are waiting in fear for these policies long before they were implemented. A far greater number of voices who oppose outright discrimination, who oppose violations to the BC Human Rights Code, and who oppose silence, the kind of silence that drives young people to question their very existence and drives others to cause irreparable harm. This is a matter of life and death. There is no space to roll back the new curriculum without exposing LGBTQ+ youth and adults to life-threatening consequences. This is not a joke, this is not a trend, this is not about religion, this is not about money or sound bites, this is about saving lives. Silencing, marginalizing, segregating, and demonizing LGBTQ+ children is not only dangerous, it is abusive. And we are here to say that, along with you, the district and our educators, we will not tolerate it. We were fortunate enough to hear from one of our high schools in Langley, and here's their statement. As a representation of the student body of RE Mountains Secondary School, we are sending this letter to show our support for the SOGI curriculum. We believe that all students, regardless of their gender or sexual orientation, deserve to be equally and fairly represented in our curriculum. Since education and schooling is such a large and influential part of adolescent lives, it should be an environment that all students feel comfortable and welcome in. The amount of students being bullied about their gender and sexual orientation in today's society is particularly astounding. We believe the SOGI curriculum is a great way to impact and teach students to be respectful and considerate of their peers, starting from a young age. When integrating these small changes in the curriculum, awareness is raised for the idea that people and their families are different, and that it is okay for them to be different. As high school students, we often see discourteous and non-inclusive language being used in our classroom, using gay as an insult, not using preferred pronouns, or simply not respecting one another. With this new curriculum, we hope that all children will be able to feel acknowledged and respected within their school environment, as well as treat others with kindness and consideration. We recognize that change does not happen overnight, but change can occur if we educate and inform our future generations about the core values of kindness and respect. The SOGI curriculum takes us one step closer to achieving this. And finally, I would like to close by reading a letter that was sent to me by a transgender student that provides a snapshot into what life is like for some children in our district, and shows just how important this initiative is. It's titled, "Written by a Transgender High School Student in the Langley School District." I don't want to be afraid to go to school. I don't want to have to tear down signs and notes stuck on my locker. I don't want to have to wear my headphones while I walk in the halls so I don't have to hear the things these kids say about me. You say that you don't want the school experience to be ruined for your kids with teaching of SOGI. But my school experience has been forever tainted by the unkind things said and done by those kids. They tell me a man that I don't even know hates me and I'm going to hell for being who I am. They tell me that I'm disgusting and a disgrace. There are so many other words that they've said to me that have become ingrained in my mind that I was convinced that I didn't even deserve to be alive. The number of days I lay in bed terrified to go to school far outweigh the number of days that I'm not. Do you know how it feels to be terrified to walk down the hallways, terrified that everyone around you is talking behind your back? To be terrified that someone might hurt you or shout at you? Do you know how it feels to walk up to your locker and see words scrawled across it and papers pasted to it, reading words that hurt more than any punch ever could? Every single day I'm terrified to go to school, to a place built on learning and love, but that's filled with hatred. I'm terrified to check my social media ever since someone posted a picture of me with a noose drawn around my neck. I'm terrified to live. If students know that I'm no different than they are, maybe I wouldn't have to be so terrified. Maybe I would be able to live my life carefree how I did when I was a young child. If we could teach at a younger age that being transgender or being queer in general is okay, maybe I wouldn't have lost as many friends as I have. If we could teach children that it is okay to be themselves, think of how much happier they could be. When I was 10 years old and said that I liked people of the same gender, I had two different responses. They were either indifferent or they were violently grossed out and were quick to judge. I wish they didn't care. I wish I never had to hear people telling me that that's not how God intended, or that's a sin, or that's gross. I was a young kid. No, I was a child. People say that we are pushing our agenda on to kids, yet we see babies and toddlers wearing clothing with slogans like Ladies Man and Chick Magnet, amongst many others. So it begs the question, whose alleged agenda is being forced on them? We don't have an agenda. We just want to educate kids and teens to make them understand it's okay to be different. I wish that this was part of the curriculum when I was younger. I wish that I could have said, yes, I am transgender without people asking me what turned me this way or what made me feel like I had to be. Nothing made me want to be trans. Nothing made me want to be different. I just wanted to be me and wanted to be accepted. I'm lucky because I have family who support me. I'm lucky because I at least still have some friends who weren't appalled by my existence. Some kids aren't. I have lost friends who weren't accepted by their families and peers to suicide. These deaths weren't because they weren't brave enough or strong enough. as some might say. It was because they had to fight every day and they were in a place that they couldn't win. They were beaten and bruised with words and fists and notes. They were disrespected and hated on by people around them, and this group has the audacity to say that they don't tolerate hate. How dare you? How dare you let these kids suffer and lead themselves to destruction because you don't want your children to know that they exist? How dare you say that you won't tolerate hate when it is the same people who attack me and my friends? How dare you say that you want what is best for the kids when the only kids you care about are the normal ones? My teachers, counselors, and the other staff at my school, they have done so much to support me. They have done so much to be inclusive and to be respectful to all students. We aren't asking for special rights. We aren't asking to be acknowledged. We are just asking to be acknowledged and respected. We aren't asking for more. We are asking for the same respect that all students deserve. We are asking to be treated like people. That's all I want. I just want to be treated like a person. And it's signed a transgender student. Clearly, we have a long way to go in our district. I can tell you that you have the support of hundreds of students, parents, and community members. We thank you for what you have done to date, and we look forward to supporting you in future initiatives to celebrate diversity and promote inclusion for all. Thank you.